Back in 2013, Big Finish finally explored the character of the Valeyard a little bit more with the special release for December of that year, Trial of the Valeyard. In this release we see the Sixth Doctor coming up against the Valeyard once again, and we have a return for the Inquisitor. All of these characters, of course, appeared during season 23 of the classic series, The Trial of the Time Lord. This release acts as a sort of sequel, and I think it was a very fitting bonus release for Doctor Who's 50th anniversary year, as we finally got a little bit more exploration of this mysterious character. On the front cover, we have the usual strip which was used during this point in Big Finish releases. We have the Howl Around Classic Series logo. We have the title of the story, and this was by Alan Barnes and Mike Maddox. We have the Sixth Doctor's face from his title sequence. This stars Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor and features the late Linda Bellingham making her final acting appearance as the Inquisitor. And we have Michael Jaston coming back as the Valeyard. The front cover is really nice. We have the space station from the Trial of a Time Lord making a return. We have the Valeyard up front and centre. We have the Theta Sigma logo, which is associated with the Doctor. And we have the Sixth Doctor there, just stood at the dock. But this time, all roles are switched a little bit. So here you can see the spine, so it just says Doctor Who, Trial of the Valeyard. You have the Sixth Doctor's face at the top. And this is release number 12 out of the special releases that have been released across the years from Big Finish. Here we have the synopsis of the story, so I'll just bring it closer to the camera. And if you want to pause it, you can read it at your own leisure. The cast for this is quite a small one. We only have 4 actors in this. We have Colin Baker, Linda Bellingham, Michael Jaston, and we also have John Banks, who plays the character of the Hermit, who is a very interesting character who appears towards the end of the story. The runtime for this CD is approx 60 minutes. It's around 45 minutes in total, this story, so it's not that long. It's like the length of a usual new series episode, and we have about 10 to 15 minutes of special features with the behind the scenes documentary. Here you have your reversible cover, and we also have some other notes inside if you just pull it out. And here we have the disc, Colin Baker in Trial of the Valeyard, and I'll just take it out. We also have an advertisement for other Sixth Doctor releases. I'll just pull that closer to the camera as well. Right off the bat, I'm going to say that the Trial of a Time Lord isn't one of my particular favourites that I like to go back to whenever I'm doing a Doctor Who marathon, and for me it's not the highlight of the Colin Baker era on TV at least. So when Big Finish decided to follow up on that season with this release, I was very sceptical because I have very mixed feelings towards that epic 14-part story which aired back in 1986. But there were a few good things to take away from it. I think that a few of the characters were quite engaging, such as the Inquisitor, and the most engaging of the lot was Michael Jaston as the Valeyard. Now, for those of you who have seen The Trial of a Time Lord, then you'll know quite a lot about what this character is all meant to be about. The Valeyard, for those of you who don't know, spoilers for a story which is 35 years old now. The Valeyard is a incarnation of the Doctor in between his 12th and final regeneration, or an amalgamation of sorts. This story is full of continuity references, so you need to have watched The Trial of a Time Lord to get the full picture of what is really going on here. This is essentially the sequel to that story, and for what it's worth, I think this is absolutely amazing. All the cast are on top form here. Linda Bellingham giving a really good final performance before her sad passing in 2014. Michael Jaston plays the villain of the Valeyard perfectly, and then we get that mysterious character of the Hermit towards the end of the story. Who that is, you ask? Well, it turns out he is supposedly a future incarnation of the Doctor also, but is all as it seems. Once again, Colin Baker is on top form as the Sixth Doctor here. All the dialogue that is given is amazing, and the way that he just bounces off the other characters in this is truly remarkable, and this is what makes the story flow so well. I think that the direction and just the writing in general, everything about it, it just really works. And the majority of it takes place in the courtroom, which you see throughout the trial of a Time Lord. And I wasn't sure what to make of that when I heard that that's what this story essentially was. But having listened to this now, I can safely say that actually this was much better handled than what I think it was in the trial of a Time Lord. It worked partly during the trial of a Time Lord, but I think it works much better here with the largely reduced runtime, because this is quite a small story and you can get through this very easily in one sitting. It's not like your multi-part stories which have been made for the monthly range for all of these years. It is an easy listen, but as I said earlier, it is full of continuity and you have quite a few prerequisites going into this, and I go so far to say that you need a little bit of knowledge about the 7th Doctor era as well as the 8th Doctor era, because believe it or not, those eras are mentioned in this, even though this is a 6th Doctor story. Trial of the Valeyard is a celebration of all things Doctor Who. We get to finally learn a little bit more about the Valeyard, who he is, where he came from, and you just get to learn how really evil he is. He is one of the most interesting characters in all of Doctor Who. I think this actually adds a lot of weight to the trial of a Time Lord for me, because I might go back to that story now and appreciate it a little bit more in the trial scenes featuring the Valeyard. Of course, with this story, the roles are switched, because in the trial of a Time Lord, the 6th Doctor was under trial, whereas with this one, it is the Valeyard, and it's really interesting to see just how different everything is. Some of the stuff that the Valeyard got up to is quite shocking, to be honest with you, and by the end of it I was like, oh my god, did he really do that? So yeah, for me at least, this story did tick a lot of boxes. Trial of the Valeyard is a huge treat to many Doctor Who fans, and especially those who are big supporters of the 6th Doctor era. It does delve a little bit deep into Doctor Who lore, but it doesn't do all that much damage to the much beloved canon. This is an excellent release by Big Finish, and one which is highly recommended to fans of this era.